Yes, Donington Park, famous racetrack. Forget the racetrack today, it's freezing cold and it's very wet. We're going inside to the Motorcycle Trade Expo. This is the place where the dealers come every year to buy the goods, order the things that they're going to put on the shelves and sell to you, the customer, over the next 12 months. And the great thing about having a television camera with you is that they'll let you in before anybody else. So let's go and see what Wayne's been up to.
So if you fancy doing a bit of touring on your sports bike, like on this GSXR, you're limited to what you can carry. So you have to buy an aftermarket product, like this maybe, which is only big enough to carry a lock and chain, or maybe you fancy putting a rucksack on your bag and you can stick your kit in there, but it's still limited to the capacity. Well, these guys have done something definitely big enough. Check this out. It's panniers and a bag all fused together, and they detach as well, so you can carry a little or a lot, that go on the back seat. So if you're not taking the missus with you, fair enough, and if you've got a single-seater bike, it goes over the hump. You put a bit of protective rubber to stop the paint getting scratched, you fasten it and anchor it down to your footrest or any framework you can, and it's secure, really secure. Okay, it's a couple of £100, but if you weigh up the fact that if you took a tank bag and a pair of panniers and another little bag on the back, you certainly do knock up around £200. You've got it all in one. Shoulder strap, stick it over your shoulder, and they've had the sense to incorporate an inner bag inside here to make it waterproof as well. And it's so big, in fact, look, it's like the black hole in there.
Now, if you think of race cans for your fancy sports bike, you think of names like Micron, Devil, Edge, Blue Flame, High Tier, there's loads of race cans in there, everybody's making them. One name you might not think of is this lot, Motad. Not because they're a new name, they've been around for donkey's years, but they've always made, well, shall we say, sensible exhaust. They've always been road legal, and there's loads and loads of sensible bikes still riding around with a Motad exhaust on them. But look at this now, they've gone mad. They've done a race can like this. Beautiful little thing, kind of sort of short, fat, stubby thing. Makes me think of Wayne, don't know why. But here it is, this is the alley can. Lovely finish and a beautiful band round there. Look at the way that's pressed out. Really, very nicely made. Costs about £140 that, and they do a carbon one as well, which is only just over £200. A nice bit of kit, brand new. What do you think of it then? Yeah, you've got a lot to say for yourself, have you?
Oi, come up here a minute. Just come up here while I explain what that is. That's a front paddock stand. What is a front paddock stand? Well, it's a paddock stand for the front of the bike, rather than one for the back of the bike. Something Paul's been griping about for years and years now, that is the major manufacturers fail to put on your machine a main stand. That means it's awkward if you want to lubricate your chain, adjust it, change your brake pads, or just do basic maintenance to the bike. So there's many a person now that have produced paddock stands. This particular one from Motrax is a new device, a very, very strong, industrious one. It'll cost you £50 for the one for the rear, and you can buy lots of little extra features so you can keep changing it according to what bike you've got, so the whole thing lasts a long time and you fit new fixtures and fittings. Or, as you did see on the front of the bike, there is a front device that raises the front up. You can get your front wheel out and get your tyre changed, change your brake pads, but these do cost a bit more. These are £70. But I honestly think that there's more to be used on these devices, because if you're spending your hard-earned cash, you want to try and get the best out of it. And I think, because I'm a keep fit freak, and obviously you can tell by my torso here, prime fitness, you could always utilise it in the garage to do your exercises.
Now, not all motorcycle gear, you know, is fancy leathers and fancy new textiles and new products. Some of it is much more practical, and some of it is stuff that you can wear off the bike as well as on, even for sort of leisure activities. And these people, Cozy, have been making this keep you warm type stuff for ages, and this trade show is where the dealers come and they buy their supplies for the forthcoming bike season. You see them at the shows up and down the country. Things like this, a neck tube. Look at that, keep your neck lovely and warm. Just costs you about £3 that. If you want a neck tube with a difference, so you can look like Dennis the Menace, how about that one there? £4. And if you want the very latest cotton lycra neck tube, which is probably a bit less cumbersome around your neck, especially if you've got a big collar on your jacket, that'll cost you £6. But if you want a neck tube that does a little bit more, they've got these things. There's a tube there, goes around your neck, keeps your neck nice and warm, but also keeps your front and your back warm. It's a kind of a vest type thing. Just sits over your shoulders, keep you nice and warm. That costs you about £10 or £12. But my favourite of all is this one. I've got to show you this. This is a neck tube again, around your neck, keep you nice and warm. But you can pull that there, tighten that, and it's a hat as well. And if you don't want to use it as a hat, you can use it as a tea cosy. Put the kettle on, Wayne.
Oh, there you are, looking at this fantastic display. And that's what happens, you see. These traders come to the stand here and have a look at a full display of product like this, and there is everything to choose from. They choose the product, buy it in plentiful amounts, stick it on the shelf at their own dealership, and you then buy it off them. But they've got to come and choose it, and they get presented with all sorts of new ideas. For example, this. I mean, we all remember the original knee slider type thing here, in various different colours with stickers on it and so on and so forth. Well, these guys have gone one step further and they made one, they call it the teardrop. It's a different shape product. This is a plain black one. You can get them in multicolours. You can even get them, look, with little sparky bits. So when you put your knee down, they spark. Start at around 20 quid, a little bit more for the sparky type. Now, they're good price then. Very good value for money. And it just so happens I've got my order pad with me at the moment. So, can I put you down for a few thousand, sir? Eh? Let's not ask. One? Behave. One.
Now, motorcycle boots. What can you say about motorcycle boots? Not particularly interesting, are they? They go on your feet, that's about it. Well, not quite. That's a nice Richer boot there, and there's a Falco boot as well. Lovely, nothing wrong with them, but I want to show you a new one. This nice red one here. A name that you may not have heard of. First time I've seen it, I must admit, Oxtar. But Oxtar is the new brand name from a company in Italy, a company called Jolly Scarpa. And Jolly Scarpa have been making boots for many years. They make boots for people all over Europe. In fact, some of the boots that you're wearing on your feet with nice fancy brand names on are probably made in the Italian factory by Jolly Scarpa. But these ones are brand new. What's so new about them? Well, would you believe that these are the only boots that you can buy which are fully CE approved? Yeah, fully CE approved, and we're very safety conscious now, body armour and helmets, everything has to be up to a certain standard. But there you go, a fully CE approved boot. So how do they test it? Well, it's tested across there like that for crush resistance. It's tested on the side for impact resistance. It'll move that way and it'll move that way as well, but it'll only go so far. It allows your ankle some sort of movement, but obviously it's tested to a certain standard and it meets all the criteria. Now, I know City have gone some ways to addressing the safety problems with boots with their new vertebrae style boots, which you've probably seen in the shops, and of course probably is the best selling boot at the moment. But this is brand new on the market, and as I say, it's got all the safety features, oil resistant sole and everything, and it's a nice looking thing as well. So there's an awful lot of research and a lot of technology gone into that. As I say, fully CE approved, so it must be very expensive, eh? Well, safety doesn't have to be that expensive. Would you believe? Nice pair of them, just 150 quid.
Yoo-hoo! Now then, you may have seen these knocking around. This is a roof helmet. This is the Roof Boxer. And an awful lot of people are using them nowadays. Well, they're clever, they're nice, they're stylish, and a lot of people like them, but not necessarily for the lift-up bit. They might not want the lift-up bit. So, Roof have gone and produced this, which is a solid helmet, a full-face helmet without the lift-up front, but still with that distinctive style. Beautiful bit of kit. Couple of £100 will buy you a Roof helmet, a little more for the fancy ones with the fancy bits and pieces on. Rather impressive, I say, and that one did fit me. I just wondered if there's anyone looking at the moment and whether... Cheers, thank you very much.
Now, you can buy anything to do with motorcycling here at the trade show. You can buy bits and pieces for your bikes, clothing, helmets, all the rest of it as we've seen, and you can buy things for your workshop. Look at this lot here, you can buy a whole garage if you like. But this is the very, very latest in dyno testing from a company called Balco based in Birmingham. In fact, they're part of Snap-on Tools, and we've all heard of them, haven't we? But this is the very latest dyno, as I say, and the difference between this and previous dynos is that this is an eddy current dyno. Previous ones have been, in fact still existing ones, have been inertia dynos. What does that mean? Don't look at me. What it means basically is that on the inertia dynos, the older ones if you like, you whack the throttle up to the red line, you hold it a second, then you let it drop off and you measure your brake horsepower and all sorts of other diagnostic tests you can do. The difference with this one is you can hold a load on it, so you can whack it up to full revs and you can hold it for quite a while on there. The rollers also are bigger on this one, bigger diameter rollers, So if it's a flatter surface, if you like, so it better represents the surface of the road, and of course it disperses the heat from the tyre a little bit better. It's all very, very involved. It's connected to a big, massive computer over there, which gives you all sorts of readouts, and you can tell what one piston's doing as against a different piston. I don't know. It's all very, very clever stuff. But if you're a dealer and you fancy one of these new machines sat in your workshop, it'll just cost you £12,000.
Now, you know how we're always trying to bring to you new products and new brands. Well, what about the stuff that we always had in the past? That sort of like disappeared and came back again. Well, one of them is this particular company, Bel-Ray. Bel-Ray, a top American oil and lubricant company, just like PJ1 and just like Cowguard, top brands from the States. And it was always available in this country until recently, and it seemed to disappear. Well, they've come back into the UK again with a full range of the Bel-Ray products, and it's always been top quality stuff. And I noticed they've got a chain loop here, and the representative assures me that it's stunning stuff, and he says it's like a lotion. So I'm going to find somewhere to put the lotion. Excuse me, madam, can you just help me with this, please?
You know, there's tons and tons of stuff to show you here at the trade show. In fact, far too much to show you in one go. So we're going to show you some more next week.